I'm Grace Givens, the CEO of Poets for Dinner, a nonprofit organization which hosts a monthly event here at the City Arts 2 building the last Sunday of every month. We feed people, hug people, and invite people into an open space and provide a platform for artists to express themselves in any way, shape, or form that they feel like. Whether you sing, do poetry, rap, dance, play the spoons, or scream randomly, whatever it is to get stuff off your chest, this is a platform to do so. And it's absolutely free. We give out free hugs, free food, and like I said, it's a free show. Poets for Dinner has been in this shape for 6 years. Before it became Poets for Dinners, it was just me having dinner with my friends, and then once I ventured out into the open mic field and stuff, I saw different people saying that they were hungry, and so I was like, well, why don't y'all come eat? And then next thing I know, it went from having 3 poets to having a room full of people who come out to commune and communicate and express themselves. So 6 years plus, for real.
What's up, everybody? It's Imani W.J. Wright. I'm in here with Lucas Ballard behind the camera, Kamal Dawes, and the beautiful Grace Givens, founder of Poets for Dinner. Correct?
Correct.
And here at Swaddle Down, you know, we host our ideals around idealism, virtuosity, and progression. So I must ask you, Ms. Givens, how does Poets for Dinner not just help people progress as people, but how does it progress the community?
Well, it progresses the community by uniting us. Instead of us discussing our differences, instead of us focusing on the differences in religions, backgrounds, wealth, we talk about what we have in common. And the most commonality is love. The second most commonality is that we get hungry. Everyone desires love, to be loved, to give love, and to receive love. And everyone desires to eat at one point in time. I don't care if you're vegan or pessimist, whatever it is, everyone gets hungry. And I found a common ground in which we can all meet up and become one. Even if it's just for one moment, even if it's just for a couple of hours, it helps us become better people, because once we leave here, we leave our burdens at the door and walk away with healing.
Right. You know, Grace, a lot of people, not just in the school system, but just everyday people, believe that art is very important for children's development, for children to I guess be free and be artistic and be creative. People think of creativity a lot as visual art, music, dancing, but what do you think about creativity from an intellectual standpoint? Do you think we give that to our kids enough?
Well, one time I read a quote where they said, history isn't taught in textbooks, but through art. So I feel like the more we push art, the more we can actually keep our history alive and keep it accurate, because artists experience life differently than most people, even intellectuals. Like, okay, you have politicians who say it's black and white, but then you have intellectuals and artists who say no, there's some gray area, there's some room to wiggle, there's some room to expand. And I feel like when it comes to our youth, even our adults, the more we are exposed to art, the easier it is for us to go back to the connection, go back to what we all basically understand. Because even if you don't understand that 1 + 1 = 2, you understand the feeling of one human being and another human being connecting.
Keep it rolling, Luke. Well, to actually this, Grace, I know you said artists think differently. I mean, I'm an artist myself. I'm in a room with amazing artists. You run an artist program here. How do we spread creativity to the kid who isn't into art so much? How do we spread creativity to the kid who is not really into dancing or music, but is more so into the weather, and is more so into rain and thunder, or is more so into politics? How do we use that? How do we use art in that sense to those who might not be in the art, area? How do we get them to be creative? Well, outside of the art world, you see what I'm saying, Grace? How do we get them to be creative?
Well, first, that comes from a limited thinking that art is only one way. Art is anything that you put your passion into. Art is anything that allows you to express yourself and be yourself wholly without taking pieces of you apart.
Wow, Grace.
So if you, for instance, because in my experience working with children, we have kids who only like sports and find basketball to be their sincere art.
Right.
And everything that they do surrounds themselves with that. So what we do is we encourage that, we push it, and make them realize that if this is how you get yourself known, this is how you get yourself seen, this is how you feel present, do that with everything in your being, because that is your art.
Grace, I love that answer. That's what I was hoping you would get to. I wasn't trying to persuade you, but I was hoping you'd say that. One last thing for you before we head out of here. Little that people know at home, actually the event's about to go down very, very soon. Very excited for that. I've had a little intellectual crush on Grace for the last month now. And you have written 2 books, is that correct?
Correct. I wrote Paperless Poetry as well as 3 Kings and a Mouse. And 3 Kings and a Mouse is actually written in 2 languages.
And those 2 languages are, let me guess, I'm sorry, I know it's so is this Igbo or is it Yoruba? Yoruba and English, right?
Correct.
So we also here at Small Down said idealism, virtuosity, and progression. We are big on people being virtuous, obviously, since idealism, virtuosity, and progression is what we host ourselves around. So last question for you, Grace. What is the importance of not just having art, but do you think that art needs to be consistent through someone's life, or do you think that art is something that one needed to experience and then learn from?
I think it should definitely be consistent. You should not ever stop creating art. From the moment that you wake up to the time you go to sleep, everything should be towards your passion, even if it's baby steps, because you can't move a whole mountain in one bite. You have to take it away piece by piece. So even if 6 o'clock in the morning, you wake up and you're grateful just for waking up, that's a part of your art.
Yes, ma'am.
And then if your next step is writing on a piece of paper this idea, that's the next step, and so forth and so forth. You should always continue to serve your purpose, because without a purpose, you have no life.
Thank you, Ms. Givens. You mind it right here. Lucas Ballard, Kamal Dawes from Swallow Down. Looking forward to this event that's about to go down, and we'll see you guys next in New York City.